March 1993, Mumbai, India's largest city. That morning began like any other. People were heading to offices, children were going to school, markets were opening. But then, one explosion. Then another. Then a third. And within moments, the entire city of Mumbai was shaken. But today, I'm not here to tell you the story you've already read in books. Today, I'm going to tell you the story that isn't in the books. A story that begins with a phone call. A secret voice from Dubai. A warning that arrived on time but perhaps was never heard on time. The question is, if action had been taken at the right moment, could 257 lives have been saved? It was the year 1992. India was still recovering from the riots that followed the Babri Masjid demolition. There was a strange tension across the country, a silence that often comes before a storm. In this very atmosphere, Pakistan's intelligence agency ISI and underworld don Dawood Ibrahim were planning something together. Dawood, who had been operating from Dubai since 1986, was no longer just a crime boss. He had become a political weapon. ISI needed someone who had a network inside Mumbai, someone who understood the veins of the city, someone who could place bombs right in the heart of the city without raising suspicion. And Dawood was the perfect man. The plan was made. Tiger Memon was given responsibility. Strategies were designed sitting in Dubai. Shipments of RDX were smuggled into Mumbai through sea routes. People were trained. Everything was organized. Quiet, precise, deadly. But then, a mistake happened. Or maybe someone's conscience woke up. A phone call was made. From Dubai. At that time, India's external intelligence agency RAW, the Research and Analysis Wing, was strengthening its network in Dubai and Gulf countries. They were closely monitoring people connected to Dawood. And then, they heard something that could change everything. An intercepted call. It mentioned a major attack on Mumbai. There were hints of targets. There were signals of dates. RAW officers sent this information to Delhi, and in Delhi, that file kept moving from one desk to another. Pause here for a moment. When you know a fire is about to break out, do you fill a bucket with water first, or do you call for a meeting? This is the biggest pain of bureaucracy. There was information. But between information and action, there was a long road. A road filled with departments, permissions, hierarchies. And on that road, time kept slipping away. March 12, 1993. At 1:30 p.m., the first blast occurred near the Bombay Stock Exchange. Then Century Bazaar. Then Air India Building. Then Zaveri Bazaar. Then Hotel Sea Rock. One after another. 13 explosions within just 2 hours. 257 people were killed. More than 700 were injured. The entire city trembled. And somewhere in Delhi, that file might still have been lying on a table. The investigation that followed uncovered many layers. Former RAW officials later admitted that there were inputs, there were signals, but they were not properly connected. Or even if they were, they didn't reach the top in time. In intelligence world, there's a saying, raw intelligence is noise, processed intelligence is signal. Meaning, collecting information is not enough. Understanding it, verifying it, delivering it to the right place at the right time, that's the real job. And in 1993, somewhere in that system, something failed. But there's another angle, and it's even more painful. Some reports and journalistic investigations suggest that local police had also received signals. Some informants had given warnings. Some unusual activities were noticed. But the environment after the riots had left everyone exhausted. Everyone was trying to recover. And in that exhaustion, alertness was lost. Dawood is still believed to be in Pakistan. Tiger Memon managed to escape, but members of his family were caught. Long trials followed. Some were punished, but the 257 people who lost their lives that day never came back. Their families still live on, with that memory, with that question, why? And it leaves all of us with a question too. Is a nation's security built only on collecting information or on taking the right decision at the right time? There was a secret call. There was a warning. Maybe there was a chance. But within the cracks of the system, that chance slipped away. That morning in 1993 taught India a lot. The question is, did we learn? If you found this story important, share it with those who think history only exists in books. History lives around us, in our silences, in our delays, in our decisions. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep thinking.